This is 5 things that you never want to do in jail or prison. It's just a basic well-being.
Right, because sometimes when you go to jail or prison, you can do things you don't know that you're not supposed to do, and they can get you in a lot of trouble. So we're going to start with number 5, which is never let your feet touch the floor.
Why not?
Well, for me, there's a lot of disgusting things on the floor. And if you know anything about taking a shower in shower shoes, because one thing you never want to do is let your feet touch the floor in a shower. That's the most disgusting place
it's filled
in
with,
the prison for sure.
It's an abortion clinic. It's
It absolutely is.
filled with baby batter because that's where dudes go for their release of tension. You flip over.
Yeah, and it gets and it can get pretty bad if no one cleans your showers on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And then you also have to think about the rest of the floor, right? Because we're wearing your shower shoes in the shower, doing whatever you do in the shower, stepping through whatever everybody else did in the shower, and then you're bringing that stuff out onto the floor.
Yeah.
So it's going up in your cell. It's
everywhere.
All around the tables.
Everywhere.
And
if CSI showed up at a jail with their black lights, I am petrified as to what they'd see.
It would be a neon scene.
The entire place would light up blue.
It would be so disgusting.
It would be so nasty.
And then one thing that I see people do, man, never do this. Break your soup up on the floor. They take their soup and they smash it on the floor like pop, pop, and break it into pieces. Then you're going to pick it up and hold that wrapper over top of a bowl as you shake all your stuff into a bowl or bag or whatever you're making. And so disgusting, bro.
Even better, though, I love it when they'll break it on the floor, a hole will bust in it. So you know that there's all kinds of curly hairs and such going into the bag. But it gets better. How many times have you seen them take the wrapper, put it over the bowl, and then put a book on top? So you're literally taking what you just slammed on the floor and steaming all the nastiness off of it and into your soup.
Beyond disgusting. Beyond
Horrific.
disgusting. Not to mention that there's funguses and things that are going to get on your feet and then in other spots of your body that you definitely don't want it happening to.
Yeah, it's like a locker room. Like your high school locker room, you know athletes' foot's running around
everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's disgusting.
You just can't do it.
It's disgusting. Which puts us over to number 4, which is...
Well, first, you know what? For the record, I want to state this. That shower cleaning guy, they always assign a guy to do it. And I was assigned to it twice and refused. Absolutely refused. They're like, well, you're not going to be able to do this, this, and this. And I said, well, I'm also not going to get pregnant.
Damn. Pregnant.
I mean,
that's a little bit of a stretch, but okay. All right, which moves us on to number 4, which is stay in your lane. So what does that even mean, bro? Stay in your lane? Like, are you driving inside?
Yes, slightly.
Okay.
Because
you can't crash.
You definitely can crash, and there are crash dummies in there. So to stay in your lane, you need to I'm going to use a fight as an example. You know, when you're a kid, everybody's like, fight, 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 fight. And they all circle around you and stuff. This is a bad thing because it draws the police. It draws the cops for attention. So the last thing you want to do is be the guy that drew attention because it's like dry snitching, you know, where you didn't really snitch, but you know you did. So, you know, if there's a fight, look the other way. Check it out peripherally. You know what I mean? Don't look straight at it. And get away from it
Definitely
because there's nothing worse than not doing anything wrong and still getting maced. It's happened. Believe me.
Yes, just get away from there. So a couple terms that come along with this one would be what? Eye hustling.
Ear hustling.
Ear hustling, which means basically don't be listening to stuff that doesn't concern you.
And
don't
you'll
be
notice.
looking at things that doesn't concern you. And that could be a fight. That could be 2 guys doing something in the corner they're not supposed to be doing. Whatever they're doing. Maybe they're doing drugs. Maybe they're whatever. Yeah. But you definitely don't want to be looking at none of that, paying no attention to it, drawing no attention from the guards especially.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so moves us along to number 3, which is beware who you talk to.
That makes very good sense.
Like who? Like who do I want to be aware of?
I definitely don't want to get caught talking to a chomo because I didn't know he was a chomo. I don't want to get caught talking to a snitch because I didn't know he was a snitch. You know what I mean? You don't want to get caught talking to these people that, you know, you would never talk to on the street. You know what I mean? If you're somebody like us and you're like, you know, chomos should be receiving much much
right,
worse
but at the same time,
consequence.
too, if you do go into jail and there's somebody in there and you're talking to this guy that they're not supposed to talk to, chances are people might be like, okay, dude, do you know who that
just
is?
so you know. Yeah, exactly.
Just so you know, don't mess with that cat right there.
Yeah, a lot of times people do that. You know what I mean?
Now, if I tell you that and you go over and mess with that cat.
Oh, it's on you. That's
Right.
another thing, too. Like, if somebody's like, yo, that dude's bad money, that means that he's going to try and get something from you. And
Right.
he's never going to pay it back.
Anything he's got to do with that money, he's not paying back.
Exactly. So as soon as somebody's labeled bad money, they're dead in the water.
How about the guards?
You definitely don't want to be that guy talking to them.
Yeah, you don't want to be friends with the guards.
No, definitely not. I know a lot of people too, and I see this a lot, where like older guys will come in and they'll think, because, you know, there'll be a lot of young guys in the pod or something, they'll think, well, I'll just talk to the police because they're my age. Man, that's not cool either.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Whatever your reason might be, it's not okay. If you're the dude that's bringing the pack and you got to finesse it with a guard, that's one thing. You know what I mean? But in all likelihood, the dude that's bringing the pack is not telling on anybody because he's the dude.
Yeah, unless you're going over there to get a request form or something simple.
Yeah,
get the hell out of the way in jails.
Mhm.
And when you go to prisons, man, you don't want to go talk to no wardens or captains or lieutenants without someone with you.
Yeah, you got to have a
always
witness.
want to take someone with you so they know what you said can be verified.
Yep.
And don't always take the same person. You want to take a different person every time so they don't think you and your buddy are curled up doing something you ain't supposed to do.
That's a fact.
All right. So that would be number 3. This is number 4, man. Don't share too much.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
Like about your case, about your family, about your home life.
I actually had an incident where, you know, somebody that I thought was my friend, like I guess his money was drying up. So he actually, I think I let him use like my numbers to make a call or something. Anyhow, one way or another, he managed to talk to my old lady, and he actually tried to finesse her and like turn her against me and put money on his books. I had another guy another time that absolutely tried to finesse my old lady while he's still inside, like he was going to hook up with her. You know what I mean? Like, I have learned my lesson.
They don't got nothing to lose, though, right?
Yeah,
what do
exactly,
they got to lose?
Exactly. And you know what? Plain and simple, in all likelihood, the people that I meet in jail and prison are probably not going to be my lifelong friends.
Definitely not.
You know what I mean? Because
I have a couple. I do have a few that I talked to that I met in prison and or jail. But it's very few.
Yeah, I usually keep in touch up until that point where I know that you're getting ready to go back to jail. You know what I mean? Like, if I can tell you're headed down that path, I got to go.
I've had dudes hit me up for sure and been sober, and you know what I mean, as long as we stay sober together, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I've also had dudes get it straight out of the halfway house and was at my house while I was on home monitoring, high within 2 hours.
Oh, I believe it.
I was like, dude, what are you doing here? Oh, this like fucked up. I was like, bro, you got to go. He's in jail again now, of course.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there have been incidents where I left jail and said, all right, I'll see you guys in a little while, because I knew I didn't care and I was going to go back. But if you genuinely don't want to go back, you got to change
I went in one time on a 45-day bid or something, and as I was going out the door, I told the boys, I said, I'll be back, because I knew I had another charge. I knew I was getting ready to get another 15 days. So when they brought me back in, I was in the bunk beside the bunk I left. Like, they was like, damn, you wasn't going long. I was like, I told you fuckers I was leaving and coming back. Don't give me hell. I already knew this was going to happen. All right, man. Well, that leads us to the most important one, which is what? What do you think it is? What's the most important thing you don't do in jail?
Man, I forgot again. That's crazy. I keep forgetting.
Bro, your brain is fried.
It's cancer, bro.
Debt, bro.
It'll get back together.
Don't go into debt.
That's right. Don't go into debt. That is number one. How do I forget that?
I know. Like, the number one thing is don't owe people so they don't take your cheeks.
So,
like you've had taken so many times before. I told you about that the first time you went in.
You know, you're not supposed to tell everybody. Look, it is a common misconception that in prison, dudes are running around, you know, I can't use the R word.
Taking cheeks.
Yeah, they're finessing the glutes. You know, they're taking the balloon knot. So
the old chocolate starfish.
Exactly. It is not that way. In order to be in that way, you either want it or you owe money. There's the only two ways that happens. And owing money can be, you know, to the store box. It can be to the dealer. It can be to poker table. Yeah. So gambling and you definitely don't want to owe the
gambling,
the club.
Store box, sports tickets, sports betting.
Yeah.
Sports betting and stuff like that's very popular.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on big yards. I seen a big Iranian dude one time. He had like life, killed several people, ran a ticket, ended up losing like $20,000 overnight. on these tickets. And before the doors racked, he was in the hole.
Oh, I believe it.
Before the doors racked, he was already in the hole. Everything was cleaned out. They was like, nope, he ain't going back on the yard no more.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
20 grand.
So definitely don't go into debt, man. Yeah, so that's about the end of this video there. I think we pretty much touched on everything a little bit there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We wanted to give y'all a little something different to look at than the podcast that we've been doing. We got a couple more videos like this coming up.
Yeah, so tell us what you think in the comments. Tell us if, this is a format that you appreciate. Let us know what you like.
Agree or disagree.
Yeah, because this is definitely a grassroots thing. We are regular dudes that, are trying to make a difference. When people wake up in the morning, they're like, oh, this is such a big issue. I don't know how I can make a difference. Well, this is how we do it. A lot of people are dying from fentanyl out there. We need to bring awareness to addiction and the injustices in prisons and jails and such. The only way to make changes in our society is to actively make changes. And that's what we're trying to do. And hopefully you'll support us.
And hopefully you'll learn from people that have been there. Like, we are drug addicts. We are sober now, but we're not using. And this helps to keep us clean, man. I got a lot of people that have been reaching out to me since we started these. And I think it's helping some people. And that's the reason we keep doing it.
I agree. 100%.
So, if you're not subscribed, man, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, subscribe, all that stuff. Comment, man. All that stuff really helps a small channel like this. You might not think it does, but if you're still hanging out at this point right here, then, man, do that for us. We would appreciate it a lot.
We'd like to know what you think.
Yes, definitely let us know. If you got 5 more things we could talk about, drop them in the comments.
That's right.
And we will see you around for the next one.
Thanks, guys.